The biggest feuds in country music have included name-calling, personal insults, a global pandemic, and the occasional minor fire. From Toby Keith to Eric Church, to Zac Brown to Hank Williams Jr., and more recently, Brittany Aldean versus Maren Morris and Chase Rice's dust-up with Kelsea Ballerini. These are the most well-known feuds in country music history. Dolly Parton versus Porter Wagoner. Behind one of country music's most beloved duos were two famous singers who frequently butted heads, Dolly Parton and Porter Wagoner. Dolly Parton and Porter Wagoner first collaborated in 1967, when she began frequently performing on The Porter Wagoner Show. Soon enough, the two began writing together and published several duet albums. Although their professional synergy was evident, their relationship was frequently strained. Parton ultimately ran up a hurdle in 1973. After 7 years on Wagoner's show, she felt it was time to strike out on her own. At that same time, one of the greatest country hits was created. Dolly penned and performed "I Will Always Love You" as a farewell to her mentor and on-screen duet partner. From then, the rest is history. Parton departed the show and pursued a solo career. However, after leaving the show, Wagoner criticized Parton in the press. In 1979, he sued her for $3 million, claiming that she owed him money for violating a management contract and other results from their separation. However, they both settled out of court a year later, with the Jolene singer reportedly paying her former boss $1 million. And, as they say, time heals all wounds, and the two eventually reconciled. Travis Tritt versus Billy Ray Cyrus. Travis Tritt and Billy Ray Cyrus made 1992 a turbulent year, with plenty of sparks flying in what could be country music's biggest feud. It all started when Tritt was questioned about what he thought about Cyrus's "Achy Breaky Heart," which went to #1 in multiple countries and brought back line dancing into the mainstream. Tritt preferred to be direct, calling Cyrus's certified platinum single frivolous, and doesn't really make much of a statement. He definitely did not hold back words, even adding that the song's music video had converted country music into an ass-wiggling contest. Tritt later admitted that he had gone too far with his opinion and apologized to Cyrus. He sent him a peace lily and said he hoped to sell 10 million copies of the record. However, Cyrus apparently had not accepted Tritt's apology. During the 1993 American Music Awards, Cyrus received his award and told the crowd, "To those people who don't like Achy Breaky Heart, here's a quarter, call someone who cares," while pounding his fist on the podium. Waylon Jennings versus Garth Brooks. Even though he never admitted it in public, Waylon Jennings was not a big admirer of Garth Brooks and his type of country music. Surprisingly, the country legend is not very good at disguising it. During interviews in the 1990s, Jennings frequently expressed his feelings regarding Brooks. For instance, Jennings was also seen on various occasions, quoting things about Brooks that literally showed what he actually thinks about the country artist. On one occasion, Jennings called Brooks the most insincere person I've ever seen. He thinks it will endure forever. He's wrong, Jennings said. Toby Keith versus the Chicks. But the feud between Toby Keith and the Chicks was something that is still remembered to this day. Toby Keith and the Chicks have battled since its lead vocalist, Natalie Maines, criticized Keith's "Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue or the Angry American" in one interview, calling it ignorant and making country music sound ignorant. Since then, few rounds were fired from the two groups. At some Keith gigs, an altered image of Maines cuddling with Saddam Hussein was broadcast on enormous screens. Maines replied by wearing a hand-lettered t-shirt with the abbreviation FUTK, which many interpreted as F***K, you Toby Keith, to the 2002 Academy of Country Music Awards, where Keith won Entertainer of the Year. However, Keith soon realized that it was of no use and ended the feud saying, "Enough is enough," recognizing how pointless it was. Charlie Rich vs. John Denver. And how can we forget about the dramatic feud between Charlie Rich and John Denver? In 1975, Charlie Rich made it to the stage at the CMA Awards show, to announce who would be his successor for the prestigious Entertainer of the Year award. However, what he did next was completely the opposite, which startled the entire crowd. Upon opening the envelope, Rich saw John Denver's name. While everyone anticipated Rich to read what was written, he instead dug into his pocket for a cigarette lighter and lit fire to the envelope right on stage, shocking the live audience. Meanwhile, John Denver, who was only present by satellite link-up, gave a courteous victory speech, unaware of what had just happened. Following the incident, Rich was banned from attending the CMA Awards for the rest of his career. Some speculated that Rich did it in rebellion of the entrance of pop elements into country music, while Rich's son claimed that his father was only trying to be funny. Eric Church versus Rascal Flatts. Guess what happens when you remain on the stage for too long? Well, you lose a life-changing opportunity. And that's exactly what happened with Eric Church. Eric Church was a rising singer. When he was invited to join Rascal Flatts on their Me and My Gang tour in 2006. While it appeared to be a dream job for any young musician, Church squandered the opportunity by playing too loudly during his debut set and remaining on stage for longer than the allotted time. After 4 requests and numerous warnings to be aware of his time on stage, the Bless the Broken Road singers, Jay DeMarcus, Gary LaVox, and Joe Don Rooney, had no choice but to fire Church. Rascal Flatts revealed that Church's extended time on stage cost them thousands of dollars each night. Church was later replaced by Taylor Swift, who was only 16 at the time. Blake Shelton versus Ray Price. Remember what happened when Blake Shelton referred to vintage country songs as grandpa music and traditional fans as people who have no good taste in the music category? Well, his words didn't settle well with legendary country star Ray Price. Price wasted no time in delivering some harsh words for Shelton via a Facebook post, adding, "This guy sounds like he thinks his skull is so big that no hat would ever fit him. Stupidity is supreme." Shelton promptly apologized for offending the legend. While Shelton sought to calm the issue, he refused to back down from his views, stating that fresh musicians must continue to innovate country music. Chase Rice versus Kelsea Ballerini. But why not talk about the shockingly embarrassing feud between Chase Rice and Kelsea Ballerini? The Overshare singer slammed Rice for doing a concert without masks or social distance in June 2020, during the most severe phase of the coronavirus pandemic. While talking about her thoughts on that, Ballerini tweeted, "Imagine being selfish enough to put thousands of people's health at risk, not to mention the potential ripple effect, and play a normal country concert right now." But she didn't stop there with her tweet and continued saying, "We all want and need to tour. We just care about our fans and their families enough to wait." But it seemed like Ballerini went a little too far for being cautious enough, as it came out later that numerous precautions were taken at the time of the concert. But did Chase Rice sit quietly after what he heard from Ballerini? Of course not. He wrote via his Instagram stories, saying that he took a video of the concert where everybody had a blast. But then, once he posted the video, a lot of people seeing that online had a big problem with how the show looked and how it went down. He further said that he understood that there were a lot of varying opinions on COVID-19, how it worked with live music crowds, and what all that looks like. And that seemed like a great response to what Ballerini said about him. Carrie Underwood versus Jessica Simpson. This was one of the feuds that looked more like a cat fight. Carrie Underwood had a brief romantic relationship with Dallas quarterback Tony Romo in 2007. While their relationship did not generate much publicity, it became a phenomenon when Jessica Simpson began dating Romo a year later. Apparently, the apparent spat between the two country singers began when Underwood revealed that Romo phoned her occasionally. "I don't understand why she would say that," Simpson reacted to Underwood's statement. However, the reported beef did not last long, and Simpson even said it was all media-driven. Jason Isbell versus Dierks Bentley. When one musician accuses another of ripping off their tunes, things are bound to get nasty. This is exactly what happened when Jason Isbell took to social media, accusing Dierks Bentley of ripping off his song In a Razor Town and even labeling him a douchebag. Bentley refuted Isbell's charges. He then mentioned an interview with one of the co-writers of his song, Home, and explained how it came to existence. Isbell later chose to remain silent, blaming his social media outburst on excessive alcohol consumption. So what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay updated about more such videos. See you in the next one.